Alright, welcome back to the devlog of Super Mighty Ultra Ball. I missed last week. I apologize for that. Like I mentioned in the previous devlog, I had out-of-state guests, and I didn't have a whole lot of time to work on the game. So I've got 2 weeks of development to go over. A lot of that was spent doing a scoring system. I mentioned last time, I think I posted on Reddit to get input, and I got a lot of really good feedback, and I implemented some of it, and I think I have something I like. I also spent a lot of time polishing and optimizing. We'll go into our board pack here. As you can see, now each level has a number of stars. You can get 1, 2, or 3 stars depending on how you score. Once you get 3 stars, then it's highlighted and shows your achievement. Each level has a different scoring threshold for 2 or 3 stars. If you finish the board, if you complete it, you automatically get at least 1 star. So I'll go ahead and start a level here. A lot of time was spent polishing. I polished the startup screen there. Now it shows you what score you need for 2 and 3 stars. That information is also available on the pause screen. So if you hit escape to pause, it tells you what score you need for 2 stars and what score you need for 3 stars. I'll go ahead and play around real quick and then get back to you when I'm at the level complete screen. Alright, that didn't take very long. I don't know if you noticed there, but we now have a score multiplier, which, right now it was at times 2, so every brick was, score was multiplied by 2. Now it shows you what you have as far as your stars and time and things. But essentially, when I got the small ball, you may have noticed that it popped up the multiplier. One of the results of the discussion I had on Reddit regarding the scoring was there a way to make the negative bonuses or the power downs worth getting? Because previously, there was no point in getting them. You just wanted to avoid them. But now, anytime you get a negative power up, excluding the auto death one that kills you when you get it, it increases your multiplier. For example, if you get a speed up bonus, it increases your multiplier until you get to the max speed. Once you get to max speed, any further speed ups do not increase your multiplier. They just give you the score for the bonus. Likewise, if you get the paddle shrink, it gives you a multiplier, and the minimum paddle that shrinks it to the least, the smallest size. Spent a lot of time just doing polish. So I think the level complete screen looks a lot better. We've got the scrolling background. I got the the animated stars. I think I like the animated level cleared a little better in this one than I did in the previous one. But yeah, as you can see, I didn't do very good. In order to get the best scores, the 3 stars, the 204,000, you really have to get your multiplier up, which means you have to take the negative bonuses to get there. Now, as you play, every time the ball bounces off of a surface, whether it be the paddle, the walls, or the bricks, the ball speed increases a little bit. And as you hit speed thresholds, you you get bonus an extra multiplier. So just as you play, the longer you play, the harder it gets because the ball is going faster, but also the higher your score multiplier. And of course, once you lose a paddle, that resets back to ×1. So in order to reward skilled players, the harder you make it on yourself, the more points you'll get based off the multiplier. But the nice thing is it also does not penalize getting good bonuses. For example, previously I was using a difficulty rating and just multiplying that to the bricks. So if you got a good bonus, like to grow your paddle, for example, or slow down the ball, your score multiplier would go down. Now it does not. You get no negative effects for getting the positive bonuses. So if you get a score multiplier increase because you shrunk your paddle, and then you get a bonus that grows your paddle, you do not get penalized for that. You don't lose your multiplier. If you get another paddle shrink bonus, then you'll get another multiplier. So that makes it more fun, especially if you're going for high score. If you're just going to clear the board, and you can get the ball slow down bonus and everything, and not really worry about your multiplier. But if you want to get the 3 stars and really get high scores, you've got to challenge yourself. You've got to get those negative power ups that make it more difficult. So yeah. That's pretty much what I've been working on this week, that and the polish. I've also been doing some optimizations. I can't really show you now because OBS really kills the frame rate. But if I bring up my debug display up here, you'll see I'm getting about, I don't know, anywhere from 140 to 300 frames per second, something like that. Or that's really going wild, like 3,000 to 6,000, maybe 9,000 microseconds per frame, which is still pretty good. I mean, it's not bad, but I was able to get this down when I'm not running OBS to 500 to 600 microseconds per frame, which I believe is about 700-800 frames per second, if I recall right. But yeah, so it's not really something I can show, but it will matter in the end results. I'm running this on a pretty beefy PC. I've got an 8-core, 4 gigahertz processor, an Intel i7. I've got a GTX 1080 graphics card. So, granted, I am running on a 4K display. I've got 2 monitors hooked up. But still, I wanted it to run as fast as possible. I was able to get some optimizations. In order to do that, I had to reduce the number of render textures I was using for some of the effects. So I've had to find alternate ways of achieving those effects. So you may have noticed like the ball particles are a little different, and there are some things I still haven't fixed, like the death lightning, which I'm actually considering taking out. It still looks bad because I haven't worked on that to fix it, but I was able to get the frames per second, or the microseconds per frame, from 2,500 down to 500-600 with some optimization. So that was quite a big performance improvement. So I'd like this to run well on low-end hardware. But yeah, I think that might be about it for this week. I also, one major thing I guess I should mention is I eliminated the idea of the challenge altogether. So now you can work through the levels as you go and pick whichever one you want and go back to it. There's no high score on a level or a board pack basis. One thing I did implement, which you can only see here, is I have it so that levels are locked until you've beat the previous level. So in order to unlock this one, I would have to play and beat this one. And of course, this level pack only has 2 levels in it. So if you had 25 levels, then all of them would be locked until you beat the previous one. So it's like a lot of games in that regard. Do have difficulty levels which aren't currently implemented, but I do plan on having kid-friendly difficulty, easy, normal, and hard. What I'm currently testing is probably going to end up being the hard level, because I'm just so used to playing it. And if I'm challenged, it's going to be a challenge for most players. So kid-friendly is something I'm adding specifically for my children because I want them to be able to play the game. So it will, the ball won't speed up. The ball will be at the slowest speed, or maybe even slower. Power-ups will be plentiful and only positive ones, and the armor that keeps the ball from coming across from going below the paddle will be a lot more durable. It will take more hits. You'll start with it. Just a bunch of things to make it easy for 5-6-year-old kids to play and have fun. My 3-year-old likes to watch me play it, and anytime the bricks are exploding, he's like, "Whoa!" He really likes it. So I'm excited to give him a mode he can play and not instantly die on. So yeah, still got a little bit more polish to do, but it's getting there. I'm very happy with the progress I've made over the past 2 weeks. The polish has really come together. I like how the star system works. Still got a little bit to do as far as fine-tuning the score thresholds, because right now they're dynamically generated when you save the level, or actually when you load the level. So I need to be able to fine-tune how that's depending on what bricks are on the level and their configuration and everything. And I'll probably have a way in the level editor to fine-tune the thresholds so they're not purely dynamic. So if for some reason the algorithm I use to generate those doesn't work on a particular level, you can adjust it manually. So I think that's it. I don't have it on here, but I'm currently working on like a background to this to give it a little bit more life while you're sitting here on the title screen. But I think I'm going to go ahead and let it be at that. I'm not sure what I'll be working on this next week. I'll probably continue polish, try to get the background done, and maybe add some more levels. I'm getting kind of tired of the ones I have. I've played each one of these probably 300 times each. It's crazy. But yeah, that's it. Appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. I'm going to upload a separate playthrough of the testing board pack like I did last week, showing some of the changes. So check it out if you're interested, and if not, I'll see you next time, hopefully next Friday. All right, thanks a lot.